This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
You're always this stupid. It is you take lessons.
Just calm down.
Oh, fuck you!
You can't handle the truth.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
In other words, be nice, asshole.
All right, let's just get this started. Welcome to Cues and Cucumber, with a podcast where we point and laugh at stupid customers and coworkers alike. I'm Lar Mac.
And I'm Tanya Edwards. Stupid.
Oh my God. So, yeah, we are recording on Saturday, the 9th of January, 2021. It's been a crazy fucking week, and we're going to talk about that instead of talking about our normal fare.
It's been one hell of a week. So I told you I woke up Monday morning. Sophia was crying, sick as shit.
Right.
Sent her to the doctor. They tested her for everything. She doesn't have strep. She doesn't have mono. She doesn't have the flu. So they were like, we have to test you for COVID.
Right.
So all week long, Sophia has been locked in a room crying because she thinks that now she has exposed me, her grandma, her uncle, her boyfriend, her boyfriend's sister, and her boyfriend's sister's boyfriend.
Oh, God.
And she's
Poor baby.
bawling, just crying and crying. And you're going to get sick. She's. They wouldn't let me go to the doctor's office with her because, of course, she's 18 now, right? So my child has me on speaker, FaceTiming me while she's at the doctor so that I could hear and see what was going on. And Sophia's in there upset. She's like, my mom just had cancer and I live in her house and da-da-da-da. My grandma's there too and she's old and they're going to get sick and it's all my fault. And I was like, oh my God,
honey,
it's not
calm
your
down.
fault. So all week long, I barely slept, right? So I'm running back and forth between the room that she's staying in and my room, and I'm checking her temperature every couple of hours and stuff, and giving her tea and everything else, trying to keep my distance, but still she can't eat, she can't hardly swallow. Throat was angry red. I mean, that was some angry shit in her mouth. Like, it was awful. Up until Wednesday. We finally got the call. And they were like, okay, we got the results back. We did the culture and the whatever, and still came back negative for strep and mono and everything. She doesn't have COVID. You should have saw her face. She was so lit up. Well, then at the same time, I'm sitting here and I'm watching. I want to see what's going on because I want to see them count these electorals. And all hell is breaking loose. I'm trying to work, and I just can't even work now because I'm too hyped up because, oh, yay, my kid doesn't have COVID. And what the fuck just happened in the world? Like, what the fuck just happened?
If you had told me
I did not
5
have this on
years
my
ago-
2021 bingo card. I did not have this on my card.
No. Well, honestly, I kind of did. Well, we'll back up here. If you had told me 5 years ago that everything that happened this week was going to happen in a single week, that wasn't like 6 months of news, I would have probably curled up in a ball and just stayed there, like dreading that, like, what the fuck. So first of all, let's back up to Monday. If we can remember that far back, okay? First of all,
It's all a blur.
I know. The tape comes out of Trump, the mafia, the Mango Mafia boss threatening the Georgia Secretary of State on tape to find him 11,780 votes. Like, that was fucking hilarious. Then Tuesday comes and it's the Georgia election. Now, you know this. I had no hope for the Georgia. I donated I did my part, but I had no hope. I was like, it's
Yeah.
not gonna happen. Like, and you messaged me on Tuesday night when the returns started coming in, like, are you watching? I was actually at the dentist. I was like, no, like, I have no hope, and I can't allow myself to hope. Like, I just can't. So Wednesday rolls around, and I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, wait a minute, we won? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
blew my brain.
Yeah.
And watching Morning Joe that morning, Reverend Al said my favorite thing. He was like, thank you, Donald Trump, for pushing Georgians so far that they just elected a black and a Jew as their state representative,
Right.
as their state senators. Like,
Right.
it was amazing. So I'm like
Right.
riding this high. I was not because I had no expectations, because I thought we were going to lose. I was like super duper happy. I was like, sweet. And I knew that the electoral count was going to be fucking stupid, but I was like, okay, well, I'm looking at all the protesters and I'm thinking in my head, well, they're prepared for this. They have to be. I mean, they knew these assholes were coming. They knew it was going to be this big rally. They knew Trump was going to go out and run his fucking mouth, right? They're going to be prepared if these assholes get out of line. Boy, was I wrong. Like, I was wrong about Georgia. I was wrong about the Capitol Police. I was wrong about it all. Like, and what kills me is I'm sitting here watching it, and my dad and I are texting back and forth, and he's watching it too. And at first, I'll be 100% honest, I was my dad, the former Republican now, but he's been a Republican his whole life, right? He left the party over Trump. He's now an independent. But my dad, like, he was like, what the fuck are the Capitol Police doing? And I, pinko commie liberal hippie Laura here, was defending the cops. I was like, there's too many of them, Dad. Like, they overran them. Like, there's just
No.
too many of them.
No.
But then you start to see
No.
these videos of them just letting them in, just ignore, like, all this
Yeah.
shit. And I'm like, oh my God, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, they were in on this shit. Somebody at the highest level.
They had to be.
They
But
had
let
to
me
be.
tell you. Okay, so let me tell you. Okay, so the last few days I've been switching between CNN, MSNBC, One American News, and Fox, right? Just because I want to see
Why?
what
Break your
everybody
brain.
is saying. Right. I just want to see but I want to know, like, what kind of nonsense are they spewing, right? Well, this morning on Cavuto, this congresswoman or representative from Indiana, she's a blonde lady. I want to say her name was like Spitz or something like that. She has like a Swedish accent or French accent or some shit. She said that she needs a timeline from. Because Nancy Pelosi said she wants a timeline about, what they did to try to prevent this, right? And she comes back and tells everybody that she wants Nancy Pelosi to provide everybody with the actions that she took to prevent it. Because it was her job to make sure that this didn't happen. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking dense, bitch? It was Nancy Pelosi's job? What has killed me this entire fucking time? These people basically, these are the whole, Colin Kaepernick is a bitch because he kneels for the national anthem and Blue Lives Matter and all this shit. We've seen it. We've seen it so many times in the last 3 days that they had a cop pressed in between two doors and he was yelling for help. One cop is dead. They were beating up cops. There's that one video of the cop that they were chasing up the steps.
Yes, the black guy
they're
being
carrying-
chased by a whole bunch of
Yeah,
white people.
yeah. Yeah, they're carrying fucking Confederate flags through the fucking Capitol building. They
How
ripped down the
fitting.
fucking American
How
flag to put up.
fitting.
They
A
ripped
Trump
down the
flag.
fucking to put up a Trump flag. Are you fucking
And
kidding
threw it
me?
on the
But
ground.
you're patriots, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and Ivanka Trump tweeting, American patriots, go home. Like, She tweeted at them. She called them American patriots and told them to stay peaceful and go. They're not American patriots. They are American
They're
terrorists.
Homegrown terrorists. That's all they are, terrorists. You know what really pisses me off? Oh, there were too many of them. There were too many of them. That's what we keep hearing. Oh, there were too many of them. But let 6,000 black people stand in the middle of the street for equal fucking rights, and they bring out the fucking pepper spray, the rubber bullets, the dogs, the water hoses, any fucking thing they can get their hands on because of the way this fucking country is made. They built this entire fucking country on black people's backs, and then here they go, trying to ask for the same rights that any fucking body else in this goddamn country has. And then here's what you do to them. But let a bunch of fucking white yahoos, the fucking Proud Boys and all them goddamn weirdos. Do you see these people wearing those fucking shirts, I mean, that said EM, what does it say? It's supposed to mean like 8 million was not enough or something like that. It's a fucking Nazi shirt.
The 6 million was
shit.
not enough. Saying that
Yeah,
this needed
yeah,
to be the new
yeah.
Auschwitz or something. Oh my god. Big ups to Joe Scarborough on Morning
Oh,
Joe
yeah.
for fucking going off. He was like, because Mika was like, was it because he was like, where the fuck were the Capitol Police? He didn't say fuck, but he was like, where the fuck were the Capitol Police? And she was like, and Mika was like, or was it because they were white? And he was like, oh please, let's not even go there. If they were black, they'd have been shot in the face, and if they were Muslim, they'd have been sniped for the top of buildings. But a bunch of Trump supporters show up, a bunch of white people show up, and you open the fucking door for them. He flat out said, you opened the fucking door for them. And you could hear Mika like gasp when he cursed. And no, it was like, no. And I was like, he's on cable. He can say that. Like, he'll probably get a slap on the wrist behind the scenes.
You know what?
I don't give a shit.
You know what?
It needed
Big
to be
ups to
said.
MSNBC. Big ups to MSNBC for not bleeping that shit out either. It needs to be
Thank
fucking
you.
said, and it needs to be said every fucking day until
Absolutely.
these people get it through their thick fucking heads that you cannot treat people this way, and you cannot have two separate rules for two separate races. That's not the fucking way that it works. That's not how it works. And did you see I told you to watch Joy, right? And what she said, and she said the
Yes.
same thing. She preached.
Oh, yeah.
Did
Did you see they put that in an ad?
Yeah, and now it's been running.
They put Joy's rant in an ad.
Yeah, they did.
Like,
They did.
My girl Amy, she posted the funniest thing. It's not funny, but it is. She was like, this was a weird way to find out that the police do know how to not use excessive force.
Right.
So don't tell me that you were so afraid and that wasn't scary to you.
Right.
That wasn't scary to you. Don't ever talk to me about how this black person scared you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But that?
Right.
Fuck off. Eat a bag of dicks.
I saw one the other day that said, we're not asking you not to shoot them. We're not asking you to not shoot us. We're asking you to not shoot us the way you don't shoot them.
Right.
Come on. Yeah. I think it has got to be exhausting.
A lot of people were pointing that out. Oh, God, yeah. A lot of people were pointing that out after Manafort was sentenced, right? Manafort got 7 years, 4 years, whatever the fuck he got. It wasn't enough. But a lot of people were saying, okay, low-level drug offenses people are going to jail for life. And this guy got this, right? And what I heard a lot of people say was, you're missing the point. We're not saying that Manafort should have gotten more time in jail. We're saying that these people should get less. We're not saying...
Right.
Like, oh, it should have been harsher, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it probably should have been for what he did, but okay, fine, right? But we're not saying, oh, yeah, he should be sent to prison for an excessive amount of time, okay? We're saying that why is he not sent to prison for an excessive amount of time and we are?
Right.
We're asking that we not be like,
No, it's
so frustrating.
And then to see, and then so once they got everybody cleared out, and then to sit there and watch them do these votes, and to see, the I don't even know what word to
The
use.
Sedition Caucus?
I don't even know what to call Ted Cruz at this point. I really,
The Sedition Caucus.
I don't,
They're the traitor caucus.
I don't even,
Like, that's what they are.
there's not even, this man came after your wife, came after your dad whenever he ran in 2016. And here you are bootlicking when you watched, when you heard, when you were part of
I
it.
can't even imagine.
Like,
First of all, I can't even imagine being Ted Cruz's wife. But
right,
how she has stayed, that to me, the fact he's so little of a man that he would kiss the ass of somebody who called me ugly, like, I would leave
Right.
George.
Right.
I would leave him. If that's it, really? You're this is the dude.
yeah,
I would leave I love George to death and I would leave him. Like, you have that little respect for not only yourself but for me, your wife?
right,
No.
right.
That means you don't respect me at all.
No,
Like,
No.
No, not at all. I am less valuable to you than whatever political points you'll get for for sucking this dude's dick.
right,
Guess what? I'm not willing to stay in a marriage where I'm so little of a priority to you.
right, right.
Absolutely.
Right.
The fact that she stays is shocking to me.
Right. And then you see all these posts about that lady that was in the Air Force that the cops shot. And they're like, oh, well, she was still a human. Yeah, remember that. Remember that the next time a cop is kneeling on somebody like George Floyd's neck. Remember that the next time they issue a no-knock warrant for somebody who's already in jail and they kill an innocent woman who was asleep. Remember that the next time a cop busts into somebody else's house thinking it was hers and kills them while they sit on their couch eating a fucking bowl of ice cream. Remember that the next time. Stupid.
My dad and I, for a lot of years. No, you're not wrong. My dad and I, for a lot of years, like we've talked about the Black Lives Matter movement and the Blue Lives Matter and all this crap. And my dad has been that person that, like, he's very much. I don't want to say his natural instinct, he's ex-army, he's a Republican, his natural instinct is to defend the police, right? But especially after George Floyd, my dad, the Republican, was just like, something's got to change. And I was actually on the phone with him when the news broke that the cop who shot Jacob Blake wasn't going to be charged.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, holy shit, you're kidding. Something's got to change. He was like, something's got to, like, my father, like, has come around to that. By the way, Karen, our girl Karen, hashtag not all Karens, our super fan Karen, if you can send us an email, I would love to see it as to what your parents' reaction was. Because for those of you who don't know, our super fan Karen, we've talked about politics on the show before, and she sent us some emails with her family's reaction, who apparently are big Trumpers.
And she was so cute.
I'm really curious
She
to
sent
know.
us a message. I know you girls basically have something to say. Like, are you going to be recording? 'Cause-
I missed that.
yeah, she sent it.
I know y'all have
yeah,
something to
she-
say. Yes, we do.
Hold on. What did
Karen.
she said something, and I was just laughing because she was like, she said something about like, basically saying, I know you two have something to say. Please, are you going to be recording this week, or anything? And so I sent her a message back, and it was right after we had just talked, and I was like, as a matter of fact, we will be recording this week because, we out of everybody has something to say. Like
Well, I'm just curious to know, like, those people that, like my dad has never. I remember when the first poll came out that showed Trump was in the lead for the nomination for the Republican Party. You know what my dad's first? I was on the road driving with him to the airport. I was dropping him off at the airport, and I read that to him, and Dad was like, "Something's wrong. That's got to be wrong." Like, my dad's first reaction was something is wrong. It's got to be wrong.
Right.
Trump immediately drove him away from the Republican Party, but my dad comes from that. So my dad, looking at all this, ex-army, true American patriot, my dad was fucking livid about all this. He was just like, I don't give a shit who these people are or what the fuck they're doing. Like, and but my point is, I'm really curious to see those Republicans that are, because there's a difference between a Trump supporter and a Trump voter. I really want to know from the Trump voters, the ones that aren't, that just kind of vote for Republicans because they are, or they liked him a little bit, but they just didn't like Joe, like whatever the reason was, the not hardcore Trump people. I'm really curious to know from them.
Well, then,
if their opinions have
well,
changed.
then we have folks like, your dad, but then we have folks like my dad, who, same situation, grew up in
Right.
Missouri on a farm, joined the Army at 17. Hoorah, everything is the Army. He loves this country, supports police, da-da-da-da. And when it comes to things like Donald Trump, well, he's the president, he's the commander-in-chief, we follow him, and that's that 25 years of military instilled in his brain since he was a child, basically, right? And he has not wavered. When it comes to things like Blue Lives Matter, totally yes. Black Lives Matter, even though you have 2 half-black grandchildren, could give a shit less. Yeah. His explanation is, well, that wouldn't happen to them. They don't do that. They don't drive. They don't sleep. They don't walk down the fucking street. They don't go jogging. They don't do any of that. They don't do...
They don't go walking
right.
while black.
They don't do any of that.
That's the
they don't
way
do any
people
of that.
put it. Like, people are shot for
right,
walking
right.
while
I told
black.
him. I said, you don't understand. You have white kids, so unfortunately, you don't understand. Yeah. But try sitting on the side of the road, on the west side of Colorado Springs, which is strange to say the least, at 2:00 in the morning in your car, while your half-black son is recovering his truck that was stolen, and the cops pull him over because the database has not updated yet, and you're stuck there for like 2 hours, and they've got their hands on their guns and they won't let you out of your car, and you're watching your son in your rearview mirror, and all you can think is, and all praying. You can fucking think is, did I tell him everything? Jesus Christ, did I tell him everything? Did I tell him to keep his hands on the steering wheel? Did I tell him? Did I tell him to say yes, sir? Did I tell him to look him right in the eye? Did I tell him to make sure he has his fucking wallet out? Did I tell him that stuff? Did I tell him not to make any moves? Did I tell him this? Is he okay? That's the only fucking thing that went through my entire fucking head. That 2 hours I was sitting on the side of the road, bald from fucking cancer, sick as a fucking dog, at 2:00 in the morning, because my son got pulled over in a truck that had been reported stolen by him, and they kept him there for 2 fucking hours until they finally figured out that the cops that called us to go pick up the truck were a half a mile away, and nobody thought in those 2 hours to say, hey, is this guy the owner? Is this, nothing. The whole fucking time I sat there, and that's what I thought. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus, I just want to get out of the car. I tried to get out of my car to see what was going on. Ma'am, you need to stay in your car. That's my son. Ma'am, you need to stay in your car. Yes, he was 22 years old, but ma'am, you need to stay in your car. We don't care who you are, So the fear that I felt at that time, and this is what I've tried to tell my parents, the fear, I mean, you always, when your kids start driving, when they start going out and doing stuff on their own and everything, you always have that fear, like, Sophia's 18, she's just started driving the last year, if she goes someplace and I haven't heard from her for a while, I'll message her, hey, you okay? And if she doesn't hear me, if she doesn't respond back or anything, I start to get a little antsy. And same thing with Avery. I message him all the time. Are you okay? Especially lately, because he's been up in Denver working and stuff. And to everybody checks on their kids. Everybody does that whole, I'm not going to go to sleep till my kid comes home because I want to make sure they make it home okay. Every parent
Right.
feels that. Every parent feels that. But I think it hits a little differently when you have a child that is
Absolutely.
black, because no matter which way they put it, my kids are still black. They're still black. They're black. They're not half white. They're not half black. They're black. And then all they see is,
Right.
especially when they look at Avery, is this big 6'3", 300 pound, looking like the Taliban, black guy coming at him, and he looks like he would punch somebody in the face, and he's the biggest fucking teddy bear in the world. But whenever you,
Of course.
but
He's a
whenever
sweetie.
your kids are out there in the world doing stuff, you feel like you have to constantly check on them, and you have to make sure. Whenever everything started on Wednesday, I immediately, Sophia was home, I immediately text Avery, and I was like, hey, where are you? He was like, Denver, working. Why? And I said, you need to be very careful, there's protests going on. And he was like, yeah, we heard some shit about something. And I said, yeah, but they're protesting everywhere. I said, and they just stormed the Capitol. And he was just like, how the fuck did they do that? I was
Right.
like, I don't know. They fucking, because the cops fucking let him
I
in,
don't
And he was
know.
like, that's okay. Me and
Oh my
Bob, we got our nines
God.
with us because, we knew some shaky shit has been happening. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
The fact that we knew. The fact that they said, oh, we were oh, and let's talk about this for just a second. I would really like to talk about this. Larry Hogan, the governor of Massachusetts, he gave a press conference because eventually the National Guard was called in, not by Trump, because Trump was enjoying the fuck
yeah.
out of all this, right? They were called in by Pence, right? So Larry from Virginia and Massachusetts. Now, Larry Hogan, the governor of Massachusetts, the one of the congressmen from Massachusetts was called him on his cell phone, right? And he says, and this is the way Larry Hogan explained how this all went down. He gets a call from Steny Hoyer, who is in a bunker with McConnell, with Schumer, with Pelosi, and they are terrified and they are begging Larry Hogan to send in the National Guard and any other reinforcements that he can. Larry Hogan is like, got it. We're ready. We just need authorization from the Secretary of Defense because we are not legally allowed to authorize the National Guard to cross the border into the capital city without permission or authorization from the Secretary of Defense, right? Then he talks about how for an hour and a half,
Yeah.
he was told, no, you
Yeah.
don't have authorization. For an
Yeah.
hour and a fucking half, right? While people are running around the Capitol screaming, hang Mike Pence, okay? Trump straight up whoa, my God. But anyway, so Hogan says eventually he doesn't get a call from SecDef. He gets a call from the Secretary of the
Yeah.
Army who says, yes, send them in. Out of nowhere, he wasn't trying to call him. The Secretary of the Army called him out of the blue and he figured, well, it's not SecDef, but it's close enough. And he let them go in. I want an investigation into everything, but I want to know what the fuck was going on in that hour and a half. Because to me, this feels like a straight up, this was planned. This was not just a spontaneous, this was planned. And the fact that somebody in the federal government, the Secretary of Defense, somebody held that authorization for 90 minutes while our entire Congress, an entire branch of our government, the legislative branch, was in danger. Why? I want to know why. I want to know who authorized that, and that person should be tried for treason. I swear to God. I want to know who held that up for an hour and a half, and I want to know why.
And what kind of a dick suck fuck boy is Pence that he will not help them invoke the 25th Amendment,
With the 25th
even though this
Amendment.
man called
Yeah.
for his head, basically? What?
Oh yeah, and here's the thing. My dad actually was defending Trump a little bit because he was like, Trump didn't tell them to go storm the Capitol, Laura. But then my dad was in Walmart watching all this. But then when he got home and he saw Rudy Giuliani, yeah, I know, right? In the middle of Walmart, just like they're
In the,
storming the Capitol.
all of Walmart
Gotta
standing
go
around the
home.
electronics area watching the TVs.
I know, right? Watching the whole, like this is the fucking 1950s or something. Good Christ. So my dad goes running home to watch it because he's just like, what the fuck? But then he gets home and sees Rudy Giuliani saying, we're going to have trial by combat. He sees DJ TJ up there going, we're coming down, we're marching down, and we're coming to get you.
Kimberly
And then
Golfoy
Trump
having her
saying,
little
"We're gonna march
dance
down
party.
here."
You fucking dingy bitch.
Then Trump going out there saying, we're going to march down there. And he says, and I'll be with you. Guess what? He went home to watch it on TV. He
Right.
went home to watch you like morons. You know what I did think was interesting, though? This I thought, but my dad at first was like, these people, they're responsible for their own actions. Trump didn't say that, blah, blah. And then my dad watched the whole thing and was like, yeah, they all need to be arrested.
Because you were like, because when I messaged you, you were like, please tell me there's video of this, blah, blah, blah. I said, just watch it. Just watch it. Giuliani was out there. They were all out there telling them what to do. Plus,
well, because my dad didn't believe
Plus,
me at
all
first.
week long, like since like December something, he has been like, oh, on December 6th, it's going to be big. Tune in. It's going to be big. We're going to do this, that, and the other. And he did all this leading up to the 6th. He did all this groundwork leading up to the 6th to get these people all wound up. And then, so then last night, right?
yeah.
So I have just been a fucking mess all week with this whole thing. So then last night I start going, because they they banned him from Twitter for 12 hours and then yay. And then they banned him permanently. Then he started using different accounts to tweet. And they kept shutting him down.
they kept shutting him
Even
down.
the digital,
That was so fun.
social digital media guy for the White House, he used his account, all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm watching all this and everything, and then I showed you on Carly, but there's actually there's a tracker.
A tracker. Send that to me because I don't have that. I saw you told
I
Carly
did.
I'll send it to you on
sent
Twitter,
it to her
and I
on
was
Twitter.
like,
Okay, I'll send it
I
to
want
you.
it.
So it's like public.tableau.com. TABLEAU. So public.tableau.com. And it's actually a tracker for stuff for this. And the shit is hysterical.
what? Okay, let's talk about the video he put out telling people to go home. First of all, my dad sees things through this different lens than I do. So he puts out the video and I text my dad and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And Dad's like, what? He said to go home. I said, Dad, he just told them, you're right. You're getting screwed, but go home. And then he says, you're very special and we love you. Dad, if George W. Bush had gone on television, okay, and told Al Qaeda after 9/11, we know you're right, we suck, but just go home. You're very special and we love you.
They would have had his head on a pike. They would have had his
Dad
head
was
on a
like,
pike.
and I was like, Dad, if Barack Obama did that, you would have already lynched him. And my dad was like, my dad got really mad at me for saying that. And I felt bad. He was like, Laura, I was like, you're right. I'm sorry. I should not have said you would lynch anybody. My father wouldn't do that. But I was just like, I'm just trying to make a point here, Dad. Like, you would be freaking out. And he was like, you're absolutely right. But my dad looked at it from the Republican lens of, well, he told him to go home. And I'm like, yeah.
Wink, wink.
He buried that in the, but you're right. Right. Wink, wink, nod, not like, hello. And my dad was like, okay, you're right. Fair enough. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I swear to God, all day I was at work. I have the TV right next to my monitors. I'm looking at my monitors. I'm looking at the TV. I'm watching this whole shit go down. I'm messaging with you and I'm messaging with my dad. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, Jesus. And every client I'm talking to, I can hear the news on in the background. Like, so I'm like, oh, and can we talk about Charlie Sykes on Joy yesterday? Oh my God, that was the greatest,
hysterical. So I had gone
amazing.
and I had to go to the store, and sorry to say, I went to get my fucking nails done, and I had to get a pedicure. Because it's the only thing that really helps with my neuropathy, and it really helps. Anyway, so I went to the store, got my nails done.
Nothing to be
and
sorry
then,
for.
Came home, and came in my room, turned on my TV and stuff, and I was putting my stuff away and everything, and Joy was on, so I sat down for a second and started watching it. And like 2 seconds in, I hear this, and I'm like, did he just call?
So, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, last night, Tanya and I were both watching TV around the same time. We know like what each other's watching when it comes to the news. So I'm sitting here. I went and got pizza for dinner, right? I drop it off. I grab my pizza and I'm watching I flip on the news, right? While I'm kind of getting myself all set up to eat. And all of a sudden I hear it's Joy Reid on her show on MSNBC called The Readout with Jason Johnson and Charlie Sykes. For those of you who don't know, Charlie Sykes is a very famous, very well-known conservative commentator, has been for years, but he is a never Trumper. And he's been on MSNBC for years going, what the fuck happened to the Republican Party, right? But incredibly distinguished, well-respected, elder statesman kind of man, right? And they're talking about all of these fucking people that have rode the tiger for the last 5 years on the Trump train, right? You know, hugging him as close as they can and defending him and all this shit. And now all of a sudden they're jumping ship. Fuck you, Lindsey Graham. Choke on a dick, okay? But Charlie Sykes is talking about Lindsey Graham, and he says for the last 4 years, he's been Donald Trump's fluffer.
I could not stop. I had to rewind it because
I rewound it 20 times. I swear. I called George upstairs. I was like, George, you have to see this. George almost shit. Poor Jason Johnson.
I thought he was
I
thought he was going to fall out of his
poor man
chair.
was gonna choke.
He was laughing so hard.
Because you don't. It's like Betty White in Lake Placid where she says, "Officer, fuck me."
Right.
Like, you don't expect these words to come out of Betty White's mouth. So for Charlie Sykes to equate Lindsey Graham to being a woman on a porn set that is supposed to keep porn stars hard, but not so aroused that they finish. That is what Charlie Sykes went on MSNBC and called this elder statesman. And that is what he called Lindsey Graham.
A
It
fluffer.
is not what you expect. And Jason Johnson's like nodding away. And then, you know, you can tell there's a delay in the mics. And all of a sudden he goes, oh, God. Like. And they had to cut away. Like, it was the funniest. I almost died. I had to call George. George almost fell off the bed laughing.
Oh, God.
I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, the things that people are saying right now are so out of character because we're in this time that you're just like, holy fuck. Like, how did this happen? But okay, so let's talk about the plan right now going forward.
Oh, there's plans. Like
Okay, there's resignation, 25th Amendment, and impeachment. Now, resignation. The one thing, if Trump's lawyers cared about the country, the one thing that Trump has shown that he cares about is not going to jail. Okay? The one thing. If his lawyers cared about this country, honestly, the only reason he issued that quote-unquote concession speech where he said there would be an orderly transition is because his lawyers told him you could be held criminally liable, you idiot, right? But if they cared, they would go to him and say, you can pardon yourself, which we know is his plan, but it will probably get struck down by the courts, okay? Your sure bet is to resign and let Pence pardon you. Now, if I were Mike Pence, the fact that Trump just sent them down there, like, to kill me, I would say, sure, I'll go ahead and pardon you. And as soon as the papers are signed and I'm sworn in, I'd be like, you know what? I lost my pen. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I forgot.
If
Slipped
I
my
were
mind.
Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Okay. But honestly, that's the one thing I see Trump going for, only because he wants to save his own sorry ass, and pardoning himself probably isn't going to be held up in court. But that's number one. Number two is the 25th Amendment, which these fucking cowards, Elaine Chao, eat a dick, bitch. Once again, this is my biggest gripe with Republicans. You only care when it affects you. You don't care about poor people getting shot in the street. You don't care about police brutality. You don't care about like anything. You don't support gay marriage until you find out your son is gay. You don't support rehab until you all of a sudden have a drug problem. Like all this shit. They don't care. Now all of a sudden, these motherfuckers came into their work and threatened them, right? So now all of a sudden, right, Elaine Chao, now that your husband almost got killed, her husband is Mitch McConnell, by the way, now all of a sudden, with 13 days left, now you're going to show profiles in courage by resigning. Betsy DeVos, fuck you. All of y'all. You stayed through all this shit, and now is the moment to resign and protest. Now, really?
Right.
You're not profiles in courage,
Right.
okay? And you're going to be remembered for that. So, but looking at the list of the cabinet officials for the 25th Amendment, there's not a lot of profiles in courage there. I don't see that happening, right? And 3, impeachment. I really was against it. I still kind of feel like I am a little bit. The only thing that makes me say yes, do it, is simply because it keeps him occupied. Like, that's it. It's not going to actually remove him. The only thing is it's something for Mitch McConnell to hold over Trump's head. Like, oh yeah, you want to do it again? I can just bring this up. Like, we can just get this done, and I can get you impeached before you can sign a piece of paper saying Don Jr. and Ivanka are pardoned.
Right.
I'll get your ass out of there real quick. That's the only thing for impeachment. It's obviously not going to remove him, but that's the only thing for impeachment that I see as being a plus. It keeps him occupied, and it's something for Mitch McConnell to hold over his head. But honestly, even that, I'm like, ugh.
Oh, they just they also suspended Don Jr.'s account.
Did they really?
Yep.
About fucking time. DJ TJ's in deep shit.
Yeah. So, and then they're saying that a lot of since Twitter banned the Mango Mussolini over there, that they're going to Parler. So.
Right.
Parler, people are on Parler and they're looking to see like, hey, what's going on, and they're posting screenshots of things, and they're saying that they're going to go back the 17th and 19th and the 20th and finish the job.
Yep.
They arrested the guy.
They better be fucking prepared this time.
Right. They arrested the guy who took off with the speaker podium. They got him.
I saw that.
So
I saw they got the guy that was in Pelosi's office.
they got him. Let's see.
I saw a bunch of people are getting fired. The asshole that wore his work badge to the riot in full view of the cameras, he got fired.
Okay, and
Like-
and there were fucking bombs.
I love
at-
that all these people dox them, name them, shame them, fire them. I don't give a shit.
Right. It's
Go on,
so
sorry.
so they're
Oh, what they're saying, they're coming back on.
Oh,
the 18th,
yeah, they're
19th,
coming back on
20th,
this-
on
this-
Parler and all that.
yeah, so they're saying that and then so what I understand is, okay, so there was a noose at one end of the building hung up. There were
For Mike Pence.
there was a van or something that was found, this guy from Iowa who had 11 fucking pipe bombs. There were IEDs found at the RNC and the DNC headquarters.
Yep.
But, those emails, right? The Black Lives Matters, you should kneel. I just, the double standards are just...
Can we talk about Elizabeth from Knoxville real quick?
Oh, this bitch. Okay. Katniss Everdeen.
Okay, so those of you who don't know what we're talking about, look up, just Google Elizabeth from Knoxville. It will come up, I promise you. So this video is hilarious. First of all, she's wearing a little piano scarf around her neck, which is very festive that she wore, very jaunty for, the revolution.
Right, that's the revolution scarf.
So she's right, the revolution scarf. So she's walking like outside of the building, and a reporter stops her because she's like crying. She's holding a towel, all this stuff. She's with somebody that everybody is assuming is her husband. And the reporter's like, "What happened?" And she's like, "I got maced. I got a foot in the door and they pushed me and they maced me in the face." And he's like, what's your name? Where are you from? She says, "I'm Elizabeth from Knoxville, Tennessee." And he's like, "And why did you want to go in the building?" And she's like, "We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution." Like, duh. And she's shocked that she got maced in the face. You just said that you are storming a building for a revolution, and it was like the perfect epitome of white privilege. Like, I'm a middle-class white woman. What do you mean I can't just do whatever I want to do? Like, it was just shocking to her. And the thing that made me kind of realize, like, I was like, oh, these people really, really don't understand that they are in the minority. Like, they think everybody just hit her reaction to him asking that question of, "We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution. Duh." Like, it really is like, you think they live in their own reality until you actually hear them talk, and you realize that not only do they live in their own reality, but they don't understand that they are not the majority.
Right.
It's like,
right. And
they don't grasp this concept.
So Sophia brought her to my attention. Sophia was like, "Mom, come look at this." So she shows me, and they were roasting her ass online. And
oh God, yeah.
Sophia was like,
I
"Mom,
wanna know
look
who
at
she
this
really
comment."
is.
And somebody wrote something about calm down. They didn't. You're not being put up as tribute, Katniss Everdeen. I was like, God damn! Like, we're fucking her up.
She didn't put you up as
tribute Katniss Everdeen. I was like, no. Sophia was cracking up. She was like, "These comments are wild, Mom. They are fucking her up." I was like,
oh, they were just, I want to know who she really is. I want to know.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I want to know the consequences for all these fuckers. I want them named. I want them shamed. Like, companies are terrified. They're like, "Don't let us find you. Do not let us find you having been there. We will fire you."
With good reason. Like you.
Yeah, because they don't want to be embarrassed.
These people tried to overthrow the government. They tried to overthrow the government. They staged the coup, all at the behest of the Tangerine Toddler. And this guy who talked all this bullshit about, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna march with you," and da 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 da, and "I'm gonna do this, that, and the other," and
he
everything
was really
else.
marching.
Yeah, no, he marched his big fat ass.
He marched to the fridge.
Right. Yeah, he marched his big fat ass back home. He didn't even march. He drove. Oh, and did you see that Clarence Thomas's wife is the one who funded the 70 buses for the rioters?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking way.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, 70 buses. She's the one who provided the funding for those buses to get the rioters there. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because people were like, yeah, they saw those buses pull up. They're like, "What the hell is this?"
Mrs. Thomas, you got some splaining to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But I have to say, I'm kind of lost. I have really no one besides, like, Ted Cruz and Holly to troll on the Twitter really now. So I'm
Oh, did you see AOC go off on Holly for whining about his book deal being lost?
Did you see the
Oh my
fight
God.
almost break out the other
Hey,
night, Wednesday night, whenever they finally got back in session to count the electorals? And God, I forget his damn name. Was up there making his little speech about why they, should move on and everything else, and a fight almost broke out on the floor.
No, I did not see that. But did you see Mitt Romney? I thought Mitt Romney was going to stab Josh Hawley in the back of the
way he
fucking
had that
head.
death stare on him. Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, Mitt Romney is the new John McCain in the Senate.
But I was a little
really do
concerned
believe that.
about
I
the
really do believe
circulation
that.
being cut off to his face from his mask. I was. It was
a little tight.
And then when he took it off and he
bit.
had those lines, I was like, "Sir, you should invest in a looser mask. Like, maybe get a tie one."
Did
Is your
you
head that big?
see? I know.
What's going on?
Like, what is happening here? Did you see Lisa Murkowski said she may leave the Republican Party?
No, I did not.
Yep. Lisa Murkowski was like, she put out an op-ed or something saying that Trump needs to leave. He needs to resign. He clearly doesn't have an interest in the job. He only has an interest in the title. He needs to leave. He needs to go. And if we don't make him do this, then maybe this isn't the party for me.
Well, and that's, I mean, most of these people were raised in staunch Republican households and have held these beliefs their entire lives. And for one man to make them lose all
Fuck it
hope.
up.
I mean, and I hate her, but I can't stand Meghan McCain, but she's just like, I feel like I don't have a home now because this has been my life. And
It's like my dad. It's like my dad. It really is.
Yeah.
Like, they're the homeless, they're the homeless party at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
they don't like us.
Right.
They can't bring themselves to do it. But at the same time, morally, they can't stand this man.
No.
And they can't stand what's happened.
no.
Like,
No, and then the people that are, hell bent on, oh yeah, he's the best thing since Christ, those people, I don't think any of them have had ever in their lives an original thought cross their brain since they started talking, and that's really sad that you're that controlled by something like this, that you think that, this is where it's at, and it's definitely not. Like, what is wrong in your mind that you think that this is okay? And all these people saying, oh well, this is just the big government is trying to not give us freedom of speech. It's not big government. It's Twitter. It's a private place. It's whenever you put in your information, you say, yeah, I'm not going to be a fucking dickwad to everybody, and I'm going to act like I have some good fucking sense. And everybody, even the guy in the White House. Oh, her video's not working. Sophia just came in and waved.
oh, hi, Sophia. I'll wave back.
You think you're above the rules, or because you support him, you're above the rules, or whatever. Nobody is above the rules. Because if I get on Twitter, and I've had to have like 3 or 4 different Twitter accounts for saying shit like, I hope you fall in a hole. I hope somebody coughs on you. They fucking kicked me off because I said, I hope someone coughs on you when he went to one of his super spreader events. I got kicked the fuck off.
Here's the thing. I feel like with Twitter, here's how I look at him getting kicked off Twitter. And here's how I would try to explain it to these Trump tards, even though they won't understand it. Okay? For the longest time, y'all have been like, even Mitch McConnell, right after the election, was like, what's the harm in letting Trump just say these things, blah, blah, blah. Now we see what the harm is, right? Now we see what the harm is. So now it's no longer what's the harm. Now you are using Twitter to effectively yell fire in a crowded movie theater.
Right. It's his bully pulpit.
It's not censor. Free speech has limits. You can't yell fire in a movie theater unless there's an actual
You can't
fire,
yell bomb on a
okay?
plane. I mean, it's the same fucking thing.
Like, there is no fraud. There is nothing. There is nothing. Okay? Y'all don't. Did you hear this? I thought this was interesting. They started marching down to the Capitol before he finished his speech. And they interviewed a whole bunch of people that were already starting to march. And a couple of them said that apparently the rumor going around was at that speech, he was going to announce charges against someone, like against people in the legislature. That's what they thought was going to happen. And then when they realized it was just a normal speech, they flat out said, yeah, we've heard him speak before. We know what, blah, blah, blah. We thought he was going to say something new. Now that he's not, we're going to go down there. Did you hear this rumor? Who were they going to charge?
I don't know. I didn't
understand
hear
what they thought was
that,
gonna
but I
happen.
did hear some things like a lot of his supporters were upset that he didn't do something more dramatic, apparently, I guess, for lack of a better word, I guess, that he didn't do something more dramatic, something more dramatic didn't happen with him, and they feel like he has turned his back on them. Especially whenever he sent out that little concession video.
I wish y'all could see my face.
Yeah.
Right
I
now.
mean,
I'm rolling my eyes and like
they were really.
the monster is turning on Frankenstein.
So I guess they were
now.
really like what is the word I'm looking for? That they were really not upset, but they feel like they were double-crossed and
they were betrayed,
double-crossed in some sort of way because he did that fake-ass concession video, right? And now they feel like, they... Well,
maybe they'll stay home.
I
not
doubt
go.
it because they're all crazy. They're crazy.
No shit,
Who acts
they are
like
crazy.
this? Who
I don't know.
is it? Who acts like this? I mean, really, it's...
So let's talk about one more thing, one more fun thing. Well, it's not fun, but still, I do want to touch on this person, this individual before we sign off. We gotta talk about Viking Dude.
The memes are. So there's a picture of Kim Kardashian West in this outfit, and a picture. I'm gonna send it to you. A picture of him in his little getup, and her some kind of getup that she had, and basically it was like a who wore it better kind of deal. And then where is it at? I mean, the memes are killing me. Here
Out of
it is.
control.
Yeah.
Okay, so Viking Dude. Apparently he's an out of work actor, or he's an actor or something. Like, okay, bro.
Check your phone. I just sent it to you because this shit is hysterical.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Yeah.
Who wore it better?
Oh
my god. Is that Kim Kardashian?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
What the fuck?
yeah. So
Oh
the
my
memes.
God.
The memes were nuts. Like Avery and me were swapping memes till about midnight Wednesday night because the memes were out of control. Like just some
That's
of the
hilarious.
yeah.
Oh
It's like
my
a who
God.
wore it better.
We just, like, that dude, I'm just like, wow, bro, that's what you decided to do. Okay. It's like, I think James Corden said it. He was like, you could just imagine him getting ready in the morning, like, I'm going to go to the Revolution. What are you going to wear? I was thinking about this.
Right.
Like,
Right.
like, that's the sign of a person with no friends.
Wait, I
Like
just sent
none.
you another one. This whole riot is going on, right? They're storming the Capitol. And there's a fucking chili cheese fries. Guy selling chili cheese fries in the middle of everything. It's like, who's the dude selling chili cheese fries in the middle of this?
You know who it is? You know who that is? That's Miracle Max.
Who the fuck
That's
is
Billy Crystal. Have fun storming the castle.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh my God.
That is Billy Crystal from Princess Bride waving
Waving
goodbye. Have fun storming the castle. Max. Miracle Max selling hot dogs. Oh my God. All right,
Yeah.
I got to start getting ready. TJ ready to go see Miss Tanya. He's going to go spend the night with the kiddos.
It's snowing already.
He's not seen the girls in months. Is it already snowing?
Yeah, Soph just came in the room a minute ago and told me that it is snowing. I need to go buy some pearl onions real quick. What's the difference between an onion and a pearl? Okay, so yesterday I was at the store. This is weird. So I have this recipe for this Greek beef stew that I'm going to make today, right? Me and Kiki were in the store, and I was like, look at this recipe. Does this say rapeseed oil? Is this a typo? Is it supposed to be grapeseed oil? Not making fun of rape or anything, okay? Let's just get that out there. It's not something I would do. But I
No.
was truly like, was this a typo? Is there a such thing? So we looked it up, and there is a thing called rapeseed oil. And I was like,
Shut
what the
the
fuck?
fuck up, there is?
Yeah, and I was like,
Now I
so
need
me
to
and
Google
Kiki.
this.
So me and Kiki are at the bougie like Super King Supers over off of Constitution because that's where we get our nails done. And we're walking around in there looking for the rape oil. I was like, where is this a
Oh my
thing?
God, rapeseed is a bright yellow flowering member of the family Brassicaceae, blah blah blah. I can't say that word. Cultivated
Yeah.
mainly for its oil-rich seed, which naturally contains appreciable amount of urucic acid. Okay.
Yeah.
There is
So-
such a
so-
thing as rapeseed. Why?
I don't
Jesus.
know. But I assumed it was, I said, surely this is a typo on the recipe on Pinterest. There's rapeseed. And so we Googled it. Yeah. And we saw the same thing that it's a flower, blah, blah, blah. Right. And so then we kind of looked up like, what can I use? Because I could not find rapeseed. And honestly, I didn't want to have anything called rapeseed in my house. But yeah, I was rapeseed. People kept looking at us, and I was like, I don't see any rape oil. And we were looking. You know, me and Kiki, we're not the quietest of ladies. So,
No, of course. You're walking through the grocery store. Where's the rape oil?
do you have any?
Like,
Excuse me,
what?
sir. Do you have rape oil? Yeah, I mean, I was like, yeah,
Oh my
but it's yeah,
God.
but since I could not
That
find it,
is
we found
fucking
out that you could use
hilarious.
canola oil, but what I ended up getting was an avocado / olive oil mix that I think will go really well because I was sort of didn't want to get rape oil. I just,
No.
I'm kind of,
Yeah, let's not do
yeah.
that. Oh, gracious. All right, my dear.
Okay, well, be careful.
Okay, everybody. Be safe. Everybody be safe. Everybody be careful.
Karen, send us
Buckle
your
up. Next
your
week
stuff.
we'll-
Send us your emails, Karen.
Yes, Karen, please do. Next week, I promise we'll be back to just talking about our normal funny customers and coworker stories. But until next time, I'm Lara Mack.
And I'm Tanya Edwards.
Love your faces.
Smooches.
Like what you hear? Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcasting platform. And follow us on our Facebook page by searching Q as in Cucumber. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching QAIC_Lara, LARA, and QAIC_Tanya, TANYA. Don't forget to check out our other show, hosted by me and Jessica James, called The Parent Memoirs. And we want to hear from you. Share your stories by emailing us at qasIncucumber@yahoo.com, and you might just hear your stories on a future episode. Love your faces.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.